Namaskaram, Kajal. Are you there or are you late? Huh? Kajal. Oh, she's a movie star. She takes a lot of time to do makeup and dress and everything. And look at me, I just came as I am. What happened? She didn't connect or what? Namaskaram, Kajal.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Namaskaram. Hey, you take long time to do your makeup and all, huh?
Sadhguru, it is the internet and the Wi-Fi connection. It is so good to see you here in the virtual world. Is this your first live?
Is this what?
Is this your first live? Is this your first Instagram live?
Instagram, yes. I've been live all over the place. I've been living for quite some time, but on Instagram, yes, this is the first time.
This is your first virtual live instead of the real live. So Sadhguru, I believe you've been traveling, asking a lot of, allowing people to ask you unplugged questions from all over the country.
Yes.
Could you please tell us what Youth and Truth is all about?
So essentially, youth means there are different phases of life. Essentially, life means a certain amount of time and energy. When somebody is youthful, at a certain age, one's energy is at its peak. Most youth don't realize this. They think it's going to be like that forever. Now, as you age, you realize that your energies are not the same. So, when energies are at peak, one thing that's missing for most human beings is the necessary clarity and balance. This has been a long story. For the last 35 years, I've been hearing from people, Sadhguru, where were you when I was 25? If you had come 25 years ago, I would have done this, I would have done that. These kind of regretful questions have been continuous. So I thought I will reach out and talk to those people who are below 25 years of age.
Yay! So I'm so glad you came into my life at the right time.
No, you're not 25.
Sadhguru, we had a pact, we had a deal, we're not going to talk about these things in public.
Okay, we will not. You're 18. I get it, you're 18.
Absolutely. 18 till I die. Sadhguru, now since we have initiated Youth and Truth, I'd like to ask you one more question on behalf of all the youth and all my fans, especially my young fans. So,
Yes.
There's a lot of peer pressure that young adolescents feel. Sometimes they feel it's very cool to hold a glass of alcohol or to smoke, even though they don't want to do it, but because their friends are doing it. What do you think someone should do to not fall in the trap of peer pressure?
Can I tell you a small story? Huh?
Of course, please.
Somewhere around 1910, there was a man whose name was Topiwala. That means a hat seller. In this tropical heat, he was going from village to village selling hats. One afternoon, he settled down under a tree because he was tired, opened his meager lunch, ate it, and dozed off. When he woke up after some time, to his shock, all his stock of hats were gone. He got up, looked here, there, everywhere. He couldn't find a single hat. Then this is the usual thing, when you don't know what… you do everything possible, when you don't know what to do, you will look up at Upperwala. So he also looked up, but then he saw on the tree, there were a bunch of monkeys sitting there all with hats on. So he screamed at them, they screamed at him, he abused them, they abused in their own language. He picked up whatever he could and threw it at them. They picked up whatever they could and threw it back at him. Not knowing what to do, he took his hat and flung it on the ground out of sheer frustration. All the monkeys flung the hats onto the ground. He picked up the hats and went about his business. And in 2018, on September 23rd, this happened. Yes, I'm getting the dates right, okay? Another man, his name also is Topiwala. He was also going selling hats all over the place. One afternoon, he settled down under a tree and opened his elaborate lunch, 21st century, you know, everybody eating more than what they should. He
Yes,
ate
electric dabbas.
and promptly fell asleep. And when he woke up, his hats were gone. He did not look here and there, he looked straight up. All the monkeys were sitting there with hats on. He got up and jived. All the monkeys jived. He made funny faces, they made funnier faces. He had all the fun he wanted to have with them. And then when he was done, he took his hat and flung it on the ground. A baboon of a monkey quickly came down, picked up the hat, walked up to him, gave him a tight slap in the face and said, "You idiot, you think only you had a grandfather?" See, there is scientific proof that monkeys are evolving. So we must understand, we evolved out of monkeys. One basic quality of a monkey is imitation. That should not be the quality of a human being. Every human being should dwell deep into themselves and see what is it that this piece of life wants to do. Not because somebody else is doing that, whether it's not only in terms of addiction and stuff, even education, everybody is doing what somebody else is doing. Even profession, everybody is doing what somebody is doing. It is very important if human genius is valued, if human life is valued, every human being should look at what is truly worthwhile for this life. First of all, the question is, do you think your life is precious? If your life is precious, what do you want to invest your life in? It doesn't matter who's doing what.
Absolutely. Words to remember. Thank you. And one more question. Very rightly, you just spoke about education. Sadhguru, there are so many young kids in the quest of wanting to top their grades, in the quest of wanting to top their class and come first. There are so many suicide cases. How do you think young children as well as parents can deal with this? What should be done to avoid something like that?
This came to our notice in 2014. There were over 18,000 suicides, below 18 years of age, I think, and over 7,600 suicides, which are below 15 years of age.
Yeah.
A 15-year-old life wants to take away life. What kind of madness we must be driving them to? This education has become a crime in many ways, because education is becoming, it's already become a concentration camp, where children are supposed to concentrate on things that they are not interested in. This is not the way to run education. This will not lead to well-being of the human being. We are running education like a factory. Children are not products that can fall out of a factory. Children have to be tended to like a gentle garden. And this will need a lot of care, love, and big hearts to teach. But unfortunately, once we treat education as an industry, so education factories are set up everywhere and everybody is pushed through, and I think parents also are involved in this crime in a serious manner. From the very kindergarten, my child is first, madness is catching up. What this means is, you want your child to grow up in a sick manner, in the sense, you want your child to enjoy what others cannot have. You learn to enjoy other people's failures. I am first means what? You are number 2 or 3 or 10, isn't it? if I am first? So I enjoy that you're below me. Once you start enjoying other people's sufferings, other people's failures, you will become sick in your head. So we're breeding this sickness all over, and we are reaping the fruits that our children are committing suicide. Once our children start committing suicide, we must understand as a society that we are doing something fundamentally wrong. So when we came to know about this in 2014, that is when we launched this thing that over 35,000 schools, we taught a simple form of yoga so that children can come to some kind of chemical balance within themselves so that they will conduct these pressures better. But it's important, there has to be a serious reform in the way we conduct our education. We have, right now, just today I cleared this document. We've been working on this for last few months. Just today I cleared this. We will be presenting it to the government about a different system of education, how education can be crafted in this country. And we are trying to put everybody through the same extruder, and this is, taking a big toll on the children.
Absolutely. Okay, Sadhguru, one more question coming closer to home.
You and me escaped because we have no education. Or maybe you went through, I don't know. I included you in my gang.
Sadhguru. Well, I always
I'm not supposed to reveal all this. I'm so sorry.
No,
I know you're a PhD.
No. Sadhguru,
I know you're a PhD.
I am a graduate. I've done my bachelor's of mass media. But having said that, I haven't gone through so much pressure and such difficulties that young kids go through in today's day and age. Thankfully, I did not have to go through that rigmarole. And I sincerely hope that kids follow the practices that you're teaching them. They follow some sort of yoga in their life so that they can bring about more awareness and balance in their life, and they can somehow deal with situations.
Hey, what is this on your screen? All these love signs are going up, huh?
It's for you, Sadhguru. You're the coolest
it's
guru.
Not coming up to me.
No, that's meant for you.
It's not coming into my screen at all.
Okay, Sadhguru. So I want to ask you one more question. Closer to home, this is about cinema. So my field is always so high octane and super competitive and cutthroat, and everyone's at each other's throat. What do you think one can do to maintain a level of sanity in my industry? Or actually, this applies to any industry, not just mine, corporate as well.
How many throats did you cut, huh?
I haven't cut any. But so I do it in the movie world where I fake cutting throats, but that's it. I only fake it.
So you don't have to get into all that. All you have to do is look pretty and act well. That's about it.
That is true.
People will decide who is the star and who is the superstar. Just because you act funny, just because you act tense, just because you suffer your profession, that doesn't mean you are going to become something big. If you look pretty and act well, people will decide.
So basically, that means just do your job well and focus on yourself.
See, that is the whole thing. The problem is we have become a goal-oriented society. What this means, if we pick this up from the West, all nonsense today is from, whatever the Americans do, you want to do. Goal-orientedness means you want to be at the finish line when you start. This is a stupid way to run a race. Here, I'm constantly bringing people to this, that you must be devoted to the process. What you're doing right now, if you're absolutely devoted, you will do your best. And that's all any human being can do. Whether your full potential is finding expression or not is the important thing. Whether you're as good as somebody else or not is not the important thing. If you are doing your best, you to your fullest possible, that's all a human being can do. And for that, whatever consequence will come our way. It's a reward. Consequences are rewards. It is not the goal. If you make the consequences as goals, you will always be focused on the consequence. In yoga, we have a wonderful saying. It says, if you have one eye on the goal, you have only one eye to find your way, which is very inefficient.
True, very true. Yes, Sadhguru, but how am I supposed to safeguard myself from negativity?
How?
How am I to safeguard myself from any sort of negativity?
If somebody is negative about you, it only poisons their blood, not yours. Anger, resentment, jealousy, these are all poisons that you drink and expect somebody else to die. Life doesn't work like that. You drink poison, you die. It's very fair. So, if somebody is looking at you and drinking poison, it's unfortunate, but what to do? If they drink poison, you don't die. You don't even have to worry about it. Somebody is drinking poison. Why I'm saying poison is, there is substantial medical evidence to show that if you spend a certain amount of time in anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, actually if we do blood work, we can show you have literally poisoned your blood. So,
Absolutely.
if somebody is poisoning themselves, why should you die? Why should you suffer? Don't let those things happen. You keep your chemistry blissed out.
Live and let
That's
live.
all. Huh?
Live and
What is
let
that?
live should be live
No,
and
I
let live.
I did not propound a philosophy like that.
No?
You live.
Okay, sorry.
You live, others also will live anyway. We don't have to let them live. We don't have to be so magnanimous that we will let somebody live. No, they will live. You learn to live well.
Absolutely. And Sadhguru, my last question to you. There, people are going crazy here. I can see all sorts of questions popping up and hearts for you. But I'm going to quickly ask you one last question.
I
Please
think all
tell
these
me-
love signs are from your fans, sir, to you, not to me.
Sadhguru, you're being super modest now.
See, they're not coming to my screen, it's only in your screen.
That's how Instagram functions. It comes from bottoms up. Okay, Sadhguru, my final question to you. What does cinema mean to you? Do you think it stands for entertainment value, or do you think it should be about some sort of message for society?
See, if it's done in a certain way, it can be an art form, or it can be just entertainment. Entertainment means generally populistic. But today we are calling the regular cinema as commercial cinema. That means it's also an enterprise. It is an enterprise. People are investing and hoping to make money. A lot of people come into it only to make money, probably. It's fine, it's an enterprise. But leaving all this aside, it's a powerful medium. It's a medium which is influencing particularly Indian population like no other. When you have such a powerful tool, I will leave it to your conscience whether you should send out the right messages or wrong messages, because if I say something about messaging, people will say it's an art form. But when you say it's commercial cinema, it is entertainment and it is an enterprise. Definitely sending out a right message is important. This does not mean every cinema has to have some social message, not necessary. It can be just pure entertainment. Always messages, if you give too many messages, people will hate you. Only because you've entertained them well, they're sending all these love marks. They're just coming. I'm trying to count how many are coming. There's too many. So you have to entertain them, because that is an important aspect, because people go there not to get a message always, they go there for relaxation or just for fun. So it's all right that it's entertainment, it's all right that it's enterprise, but it's important that we are conscious that at least if we don't give some powerful social message, if you're not interested in that, at least we don't send wrong messages. That much care I think we must take, because
Absolutely.
it is a very vulnerable population in India. They are not looking at a movie critically, they're believing everything that is said. Everything that's said in the movie, vulnerable people, they're actually believing every word as if it's the truth. And people are making philosophies watching a movie. When that's the condition, I think it will be compassionate of all the film industry people to be conscious that you don't send wrong messages and confuse people or drive them into wrong kinds of things.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. And from my end, I'm going to be super conscious about this and try my level best to give out the right message. And if I cannot, definitely not give out wrong messages.
That's it.
Thank you for your time, Sadhguru. It was so wonderful
Thank you very
chatting
much.
with you. Thank you. Lovely seeing you virtually. I look forward to seeing you in the real world
Yes,
very
very,
soon.
very near. Just very close. We will meet anyway. Namaskaram. Namaskaram to
Namaskaram.
you and all your fans, huh?
Thank you. Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Hmm. Huh? Is it? She said it's over, no? Yeah. Brilliant, guys. Why you want to surprise me like this, huh?